لله الخافض الرافع سبحانه حجب الجن عن غيبه بعد أن كان لهم في السماء مواضع. سبحانه أنزل القرآن نورا يتلى فإذا الناس محجوب وسامع، فإذا قرئ على العليل ذهبت عن جسمه المواجع، وإذا استمع له الحزين هان في عينيه كل ضائع. نحمده تبارك وتعالى على كل حال وواقع، ونسأله أن يحفظ علينا العقول والأبصار والمسامع. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، خلق الخلق بقدرته فسواهم ورزقهم، ثم قال جل وعلا: وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون. أرسل الرسل فأرسل نبيه محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله. فأشهد أن سيدنا وإمامنا وقائدنا وحبيبنا رسول الله محمد هو الذي أنزل عليه ربه. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير. يا رسول الله، أنت الذي من نورك البدر اكتسى والشمس مشرقة بنور بهاك. أنت الذي لما رفعت إلى السماء بك قد سمت وتزينت لسراك. أنت الذي ناداك ربك مرحبا ولقد دعاك لقربه وحباك، وخفضت دين الشرك يا علم الهدى ورفعت دينك فاستقام هناك. ماذا يقول المادحون وما عسى أن يكتب الكتاب من معناك؟ صلى عليك الله يا علم الهدى، يا علم الهدى صلى عليك الله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على هذا النبي البهي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ثم أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كلام الله تعالى، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. My brothers and sisters in Islam, welcome to another Jumu'ah where we come together for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala under the slogan that everyone is welcome in the house of Allah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the blessings of Jumu'ah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to shower all of us with His mercy. Allahumma ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. My brothers and sisters, every time in that, at the end of the month of Rajab, it is the time that all people are remembering the incident and the miracle of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj, called in English the night journey and the actual Ascension. That journey that Allah had gifted the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And we have a special chapter named after Al-Isra. And in another surah in the Quran, Allah mentioned some of the details in Surah Al-Najm about this journey. And there are lots of lessons that we can derive. There are many teachings and lessons that we can extract from that journey. And actually, Yes, it was a personal journey to the Prophet Muhammad. Yes, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had reached to a place that there is no creature had reached it to. Yes, Allah honored the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes, it was a personal journey, but we as his followers, we as the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we need to learn, we need to understand, first of all, the status of Rasulullah. Number two, we can learn many of the lessons. Actually, the time is so limited. I cannot finish the entire journey from A to Z in just 20 minutes, let's say. But actually, what I'm doing today, I will try to deliver the message of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. Then I will present an invitation to all of you, so we can all go today from Richey Masjid to Al-Masjid Al-Haram. Then we are going to visit Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. Then I will take you to go, not with the plane, not with the flight. We didn't book any tickets, but we will go with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam through Al-Buraq, so we can visit what is above the seven heavens. That's why it's a very unique, very special Jumu'ah today, since we are talking about Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. It is started by an invitation. The invitation came from Allah, inviting whom? Inviting the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Who is the mediator? Who is carrying the invitation? Jibreel alayhi salam, the angel Jibreel. Jibreel, the angel of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He came with an invitation to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I don't want to waste lots of time to talk about the different narrations and talk about some of the statistics, some of the numbers of those who narrated Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. This is not the time today for the academic study, but what I wanted to focus on, the spiritual sphere, the spiritual side that tells you that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on that critical time, when Rasulullah lost his wife, when he lost his uncle, when lots of people came against him after the journey to Al-Ta'if, and he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was in a very horrific situation when people started to stone him until his body started to bleed, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Then he went to a little garden to make a dua to Allah. Allahumma إني أشكو إليك ضعف قوتي وقلة حيلتي وهواني على الناس يا أرحم الراحمين أنت رب المستضعفين وأنت ربي إلى من تكلني إلى من تكلني إلى بعيد يتجهمني أم إلى عدو ملكته أمري إن لم يكن بك غضب علي فلا أبالي أعوذ بنور وجهك الذي أشرقت له الظلمات وصلح عليه أمر الدنيا والآخرة أن يحل بي غضبك أو ينزل علي سخطك لك العتبى حتى ترضى ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بك. That was actually the dua of Rasulullah. And let me summarize this dua because it's a very beautiful dua. We cannot miss that incident without giving at least the translation for this dua. He said, "Oh Allah, I am complaining to you my weakness. I am complaining to you that I cannot do anything. Oh Allah, here you see people are gathering against me. Oh Allah, are you angry at me? Oh Allah, are you upset with me? Did I fail to give my mission? Oh Allah, if you are not angry with me and it is just a test, I do not care. As long as you are pleased with me, I don't care about people. I don't care about who are my enemies. I only want you, oh Allah." Can you imagine this powerful dua from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in a time full of distress, full of depression. Then Allah, in a certain night, في ليلة صفت سماؤها ورق ماؤها وطاب هواؤها، في ليلة اتصل فيها نور السماء بأرض الصحراء، أرسل الله دعوة إلى نبيه: يا محمد أنت الليلة مدعو لزيارة السماء، الداعي هو الله، المدعو هو رسول الله، حامل الدعوة جبريل. In a certain night, Allah had sent Jibreel with an invitation to Rasulullah. We have two narrations here. The first narration said that Jibreel first went to the house of Rasulullah, and Rasulullah found that the roof of his house opened up. And Jibreel took him from his house to Al-Hatim in Al-Kaaba. And Al-Hatim is the semi-circle that you see in Al-Kaaba. And he said he took me at night. When we reached to Al-Hatim, he opened up my chest, Jibreel, and he has a bowl full of Zamzam. In another narration, full of Imam. So he washed my heart. He washed my heart with Zamzam and Imam. And he brought Al-Buraq. And Al-Buraq, it's the transportation that we can understand from the hereafter side. And Al-Buraq means the lightning speed. And Al-Buraq, as Rasulullah had described, is smaller than the mule, larger than the donkey. And it has like a speed that no human being had ever knew. And he said it has hoofs. It moves each hoof as far as the eye can see. That is the speed of the Buraq. And the Buraq has muzzles, harnesses. And it has like a place where Rasulullah can put his feet on. So Jibreel said to Rasulullah to ride the Buraq. So Rasulullah said, I stepped into the Buraq. And you know, when an animal, like there is a stranger, will ride an animal, what the animal would do? The animal had jumped or tried to jump. So Jibreel called, or he holds the muzzle and the harnesses, and he yanked Al-Buraq, and he said, "Ma, Sah, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? فَوَاللَّهِ مَا رَكِبَكَ أَفْضَلُ مِنْ مُحَمَّدٍ." There is no one better than this man had ridden you before. Then Rasulullah ﷺ said, then we moved from Al-Masjid Al-Haram, from the Kaaba area, towards Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. And he ﷺ had seen many things. I don't want to waste the time. I see that the clock is chasing me right now. But Rasulullah had seen lots of things. He had seen the resemble of the dunya. And Jibreel advised him not to look at the dunya. And he ﷺ had smelled a good scent, a good fragrance. He said, what is that good smell, oh brother Jibreel? He said, this is the smell of the lady who used to comb the hair of the daughter of Fir'aun. He said, can you tell me the story? What happened? He said one day, while that lady combing the hair of the daughter of Fir'aun, then something had dropped. So the lady went down and wanted to pick it up, and she said, Bismillah. So the daughter said, who is Allah? Do you mean my father, Fir'aun? She said, no. Rabbi wa Rabbuki wa Rabbu Abiki huwa Allah. My Lord, your Lord, the Lord of your father is Allah. And at that time, the girl went to her dad and informed him, there is somebody in the palace worshipping another God other than you, O dad. So he brought her. He brought her kids. And she said, whether you disbelieve in Allah or I will kill you today, putting you in the oil which is boiling too much. I will put you all in that big place. So she said, I will not disbelieve in Allah. No matter what you have made, I will only have one request. If you are going to kill us all, I want you to bring us all together in one place. Make our burial, all our flesh, or our bones in one place. Put us all in one place. So he said, I will do this. And he brought the first son. He said, do you disbelieve in Allah and believe in me? She said, no. And he threw the first one in the boiling oil. Then he said, he got the second one. Then he got the third one. Then he got the baby. The fourth one was a baby. And before throwing the baby, the mom started to cry. The baby had nothing to do with this. Has no fault. Had nothing to be killed for. So Allah wanted to make her heart firm. Allah made the baby, the infant, to speak in the cradle. And the baby said, اثبتي يا أمّا فإنك على الحق. Oh my mom, keep firm, keep steadfast, you are on the truth. And the baby was thrown. Then the mom, then they were buried in one place, and this is the good smell of the spot of their burial that Rasulullah had smelled in his journey in Isra. Rasulullah said in a narration, I have reached to Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. Then I tied Al-Buraq in the same place that all the prophets used to tie their Buraq on. And he said, I entered to Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa and I prayed 2 rak'ahs. And when I finished the 2 rak'ahs, I turned around, I looked behind me, and I found all the prophets, all the messengers had gathered together in Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. They welcomed him, and there is Salah had started. And Rasulullah, he said, they pushed me to be their Imam. I was assigned to be the Imam of all the prophets and the messengers of Allah. He led them in Salah, and he had a little conversation. There are many narrations. He said, I have seen Moses. Moses is a great, tall, muscular, brownish in color. And he said, he is like a person who came from a qabila, from a tribe. It is called Shanu'a. Then he said, I have seen Jesus. And the most one to resemble his looking is Urwata ibn Mas'ud al-Thaqafi. Urwat al-Thaqafi. One of the companions, he was resembling the look of Jesus. And he said, I have seen Ibrahim alayhi salam. And he said, the most one resembling him in looking is your companion, Rasulullah himself. Rasulullah looked like Ibrahim alayhi salam. And he had a little conversation. And he said, remember, that incident took place almost 1 year before the Hijrah. Before the Sharia, before the prohibitions of the wine. He said, I found Jibreel brought 2 cups for me. one is wine, the other one is milk. He said, I chose milk. Then Jibreel said, Ya Muhammad, asabta al-fitra. You chose the right one. You chose the fitra. And he drank the milk, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he said, we started our journey to Al-Mi'raj, to the heavens, to the skies, above the 7 skies. And he, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, had seen many of the things on his way. He said, until we reached to the first heaven. And Rasulullah said, had Jibreel knocked the door of the first sky, then the angels inside had responded, who is that? He said, Jibreel. He said, is there anyone with you? He said, yes, Muhammad is with me. And they said, welcome Muhammad. He entered, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and in every sky he met 1 or 2 of the prophets and the messengers of Allah. He said, the first sky, I have seen a huge man, very tall. He welcomed him and he said, Marhaban bil ibn al-salih wal nabi al-salih. Welcome, O righteous son. Welcome, O righteous prophet. He said, who is that Jibreel? He said, this is your father, Adam. He welcomed Rasulullah and he moved to the second one, to the third one. He met Yahya and he met Isa alayhi salam. Then in the third one, he met Yusuf alayhi salam. And he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when I have seen Yusuf, أُعْطِيَ نِصْفَ الْحُسْنِ. Joseph was given half of the beauty on earth. That is the prophet Joseph. And he said, I have moved to the fourth one. Then I met Idris alayhi salam. Allah said in the Quran, وَرَفَعْنَاهُ مَكَانًا عَلِيًّا. That is Idris. Then he moved to the fifth one. He said, I have met Aaron. Then in the sixth heaven, I met Moses. I met Musa alayhi salam. Then the seventh heaven, he had seen Ibrahim alayhi salam. And Sayyidina Ibrahim on the seventh heaven, leaning his back on Al-Bayt al-Ma'mur. What is Al-Bayt al-Ma'mur? I just wanted to summarize 3 things, 3 wonders, 3 miracles that Rasulullah had seen on the 7th heaven. He had seen Al-Bayt al-Ma'mur. He had seen Jibreel on his original form. And he had seen Sidratul Muntaha. And Sidratul Muntaha, the trunk starts from the 6th heaven. Then the branches going up to the 7th heaven and what is beyond. And I will give you some of the details of Sidratul Muntaha. But he said, I have seen Al-Bayt al-Ma'mur. It looks like Al-Kaaba on earth. Al-Bayt al-Ma'mur, it is on the same spot. So the same spot on earth, above Al-Kaaba, above the 7 heavens, you will find Al-Bayt al-Ma'mur. It's a big house, big sacred house. The angels of Allah are visiting Al-Bayt al-Ma'mur. And Rasulullah said, every single day, 70,000 angels are entering to Al-Bayt al-Ma'mur and they never returned. That gives you an idea about the number of the angels, the number of the creation of Allah. And he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, after that I have reached to Sidratul Muntaha. What is Sidratul Muntaha? Sidratul Muntaha is a tree. a place. If you wanted to translate it to English, it will tell you lot tree. But Rasulullah said, Sidratul Muntaha, its branches are made out of gold, and it has beautiful butterflies are flying all around. And this tree itself, it has its own leaves. And he said the leaves are bigger than the ears of the elephant. And he said it's always frequently changing its colors. Rasulullah said, I have seen colors I never seen before. And this is what Allah had mentioned in Surah Al-Najm. Allah said that Sidratul Muntaha is always changing its beauty. Allah said, إِذْ يَغْشَى السِّدْرَةَ مَا يَغْشَى. The sidra is always changing its beauty. And the word muntaha is the very end. He said, everything that Allah has created will come to Sidratul Muntaha and stop. Nothing is allowed to pass. Even Jibreel, yes, even Jibreel. So what is beyond Sidratul Muntaha? As far as we know from the hadith of Rasulullah, the throne of Allah and the one who is above the throne. That is what is beyond Sidratul Muntaha. Rasulullah, at that time, at that place, Allah had allowed him to see Jibreel on his original form. Imam Ibn Abbas said that Rasulullah had seen Jibreel 2 times. The first one on the night of revelation of Iqra, and the second one on the Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. And look at some of the description of Rasulullah. He said, I have seen Jibreel on that night, and he has 600 wings. When Jibreel had stretched one of his wings, he blocked the horizon. And he said, the feather coming out of the wings, it's all pearls and diamonds, are dripping from the wings of Jibreel. Massive creation, beautiful one. And he said, if just one wing, it will block the earth from east to west. That is Jibreel alayhi salam, the angel of Allah. And he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, then alone, by himself, not by Jibreel, he was allowed to move forward, to go more beyond Sidratul Muntaha. There is a narration when he said, وصلت إلى مكان أسمع فيه صريف الأقلام. I have reached to a place where can I hear the pen while it is writing. And we understand from the hadith of Rasulullah that أول ما خلق الله خلق القلم. The first creation of Allah ever is the pen. And Allah said to the pen, "Uktub," write down. And the pen said, "Mada أكتب?" What should I write? Allah said, "Uktub ma kana wa ma yakunu إلى يوم الدين. Write everything is going to happen from now till the day of judgment. Rasulullah said, I have reached to a place that I can hear the pen while it is writing. Then Rasulullah, he said, I have given at that place, I have given the opportunity to move forward. He said, I moved till he had heard Allah while he is talking to him. Then who is welcoming Rasulullah now? Allah himself. And he had a conversation with Allah. And he said, he has given three things. Number one is salah. Number two, the last two verses of Surah Al-Baqarah. And he was promised by Allah, whoever from his ummah will worship Allah alone without associating partners, he will be allowed to enter Jannah. May Allah make us amongst them. So he was given three things. Salah, as we know, Allah had prescribed Salah at the beginning to be 50. And we know about his coming back and forth between him and Moses for multiple times, at least 5. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had dropped them to 5, then Allah said, I will make it 5 upon you, but 50 in reward. Then he was granted the last 2 verses of Surah Al-Baqarah. And I just wanted to tell you, for those who are complaining of stress, depression, those who are always worried, having anxiety about the future, those who are complaining of the evil eye, or they have bad omen. As far as we do not believe in omen, we believe in the destiny of Allah. If you wanted something for protection, recite the last 2 verses of Surah Al-Baqarah. Rasulullah said, whoever recited the last 2 verses of Surah Al-Baqarah every night, he said, kafata. Kafata, it is enough for him. He doesn't need anything else. The last 2 verses of Surah Al-Baqarah for protection. You know, Rasulullah said that Allah had gifted these 2 verses to Rasulullah from underneath the throne of Allah. So Jibreel did not come with the revelation of these 2 verses. Both of them came from the underneath of the throne of Allah. And Allah gave him as-salah. That tells us a lot about the salah and the significance of salah. Salah is the measurement. Salah, what tells your connection with Allah. إذا أردت أن تعرف أين مقامك فانظر إلى أين أقامك. If you wanted to know the degree of your closeness to Allah, look at your performance to your salah. And I don't want to talk more about salah, as you know about the importance of salah. At that time, Rasulullah had seen lots of things about the people of Jannah and the people of the hellfire. But I cannot go far because of the time. I know lots of people have to go back to their work. But we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the blessings of Jumu'ah and the benefits of the lessons of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. أسرى بك الله ليلا أسرى بك الله ليلا إذ ملائكه والرسل في المسجد الأقصى على قدم مشيئة الخالق الباري وصنعته وقدرة الله فوق الشك والتهم لما خطرت بهم التفوا بسيدهم كالشهب بالبدر أو كالجند بالعلم صلى وراءك منهم كل ذي خطر ومن يفز بحبيب الله يغتنم. رسول الله نور لا يضاهى يفوق الشمس في أجل ضحاها. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي. الحمد لله وكفى وصلاة وسلاما على عباده الذين اصطفى. ثم أما بعد, my brothers and sisters, before we move to the salah, when we hear Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj, when we know about this journey, now after I took you to that journey from Al-Masjid al-Haram to Al-Masjid al-Aqsa, then we landed back to our masjid. When we always read Surah Al-Isra, when we always remember this incident, we have pain in our hearts, pain in our chests, pain everywhere when we remember in Masjid al-Aqsa. Where is Al-Masjid al-Aqsa? Where is Al-Masjid al-Aqsa right now? Masra Nabiyuna, the place where Rasulullah started his Al-Mi'raj journey. أولى القبلتين, the first Qibla. ثالث الحرمين, the third of three harams. The one that the salah in it has its own speciality. As Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, لا تشد الرحال إلا إلى ثلاث. You cannot have a special journey packing all the stuff except for three mosques, three masajid. Al-Masjid al-Haram al-Kaaba, Al-Masjid al-Nabawi in al-Medina, and the third one, Al-Masjid al-Aqsa in al-Quds in Jerusalem. He said, one salah, one rak'ah equals 100,000 salah. One in al-Masjid al-Haram, one salah in al-Masjid al-Nabawi equal 1,000 salah, and one salah in al-Masjid al-Aqsa equals 500 salah. This is how we look at al-Masjid al-Aqsa. Al-Masjid al-Aqsa belongs to all Muslims, to over 2 billion Muslims. It's a sign for our honor, our dignity, our future, our adherence to the religion of Allah. When we talk about Al-Masjid al-Aqsa, that has to be one of the daily remembrance, the daily du'at, and not only du'at, the daily concern, the daily effort, the daily thinking, the daily overwhelming of Al-Masjid al-Aqsa. We ask Allah to liberate Al-Masjid al-Aqsa. And we ask Allah to liberate us first before Al-Masjid al-Aqsa. And there are lots of people, they remember that Allah had granted us Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa since Umar ibn al-Khattab. No, it was before. So they get that phrase, حررها فتحها عمر وحررها صلاح الدين فمن لها الآن. Umar had conquested Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. Salah al-Din liberated Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. Who is today for Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa? And let me tell you, it's not about Umar, it's not about Salah al-Din. Lots of people nowadays, with what is going on with Gaza, they call out Salah al-Din. أين أنت يا صلاح الدين؟ قم يا صلاح الدين. وأنا أقول لهم دعوا صلاح الدين في مكانه، لا تزعجوه. إنها ليست القضية في صلاح الدين، ولكن القضية في أمة لما ناداها صلاح الدين هبت. لو بعث صلاح الدين لمات كمدا. It's not about Salah al-Din as a leader to lead the Muslims nowadays. If Allah willed to resurrect Salah al-Din nowadays, Salah al-Din will die with a heart attack of what is seen from the Muslims nowadays. It's not about Salah al-Din. It's not about Umar. It's all about the Ummah. That when Salah al-Din called them, they responded positively. When Umar called them, they responded positively. People are targeting the hereafter. If Allah resurrected Salah al-Din amongst us nowadays, and He called Muslims to liberate Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, you know what they are going to say. I'm busy. I'm busy with my work. I have to shop to my wife. I want to post on Facebook. I want to go to check on my Twitter. It's not about those. Leave those people to be rested. It's all about our ummah. May Allah revive our ummah back. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the blessings of the prophets and the messengers of Allah, the blessings of Jumu'ah, the blessings of reflecting, pondering about the Al-Isra and Al-Mi'raj journey. Allahumma ameen. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت أقدامنا. اللهم توفنا مسلمين والحقنا بالصالحين واحشرنا يا ربنا في زمرة خير المرسلين. وأقم الصلاة. قوموا إلى صلاتكم.